The biggest thing that I've learned is that retirement isn't an age, it's a number. And if we can reach this number faster, that means that we can retire earlier or even work part-time so we have more time to spend doing things we love. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy you chocolate and wine, holidays to Europe, and the freedom to spend more time with the people that you love. And I know what you're probably thinking. Who are you to be talking about this? And hello, if you are new here, I'm Queenie and I'm a licensed personal finance content creator. And I was also lucky enough to grow up in a very frugal, but financially free single parent household. My dad actually retired early to take care of me before the FIRE movement even existed. He retired at 50 to take care of me as a full-time single stay-at-home dad. I know it's not your typical family. We didn't have a crazy flashy lifestyle, and honestly for most of my life I felt quite poor compared to the other kids. We had a modest home, I went to public schools, we didn't do any fancy holidays, and he also used to drive this really old car that was really loud and it used to embarrass me. I used to get him to drop me a couple of streets away from school so I could walk myself. But we had enough income to cover our expenses, and if I needed any money to buy new books, clothes, or any tech items, there would always be room in the budget for that. He tells me that one of the best feelings in the world was showing up to work each day and knowing that he didn't actually need the job. Even if he was fired, he had enough passive income to cover his expenses. And this took the pressure off a lot. I didn't quite get it when I was a kid. I just wanted all of the fancy things like all of the other kids had, but I understand now. So while becoming financially independent is hard, it's definitely possible. And in this video, I'll be sharing the blueprint to becoming financially independent and retiring early. I'll be sharing the strategy that my dad used and also the updated strategy that I'm planning to use. Thank you so much to Pearl for sponsoring this video. They're an amazing investing app that I use to invest every single month. And if you'd like to try them out for yourself, you can use my code Queenie for a $20 credit. I'll be talking more about Pearl later in this video. Keep in mind that this video is general in nature and doesn't constitute personal financial advice. You can read my full financial services guide in the description. So the first step is creating an emergency fund. An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in cash in a bank account. This is so that you have some money to rely on, so you don't need to dip into your investments at a bad time in the market. With an emergency fund, it allows you to cover your expenses for around 3 to 6 months, just in case any unexpected events happen. For example, if you lose your job. The next step is crucial to becoming financially independent and retiring early, and that is tracking your expenses. It's really important to see exactly how much money you have coming in each month and exactly how much money is going out each month. I know it can be really daunting to have a look at your expenses and see just how all of those tiny little $5 or $10 expenses really do add up at the end of the day. But you've just got to rip that band-aid off and see exactly where you're at. Personally, I go through my expenses every single month to see exactly where my money goes. The first time I started doing this, it really sucked. But thankfully, now that I have been doing it for a few years, my expenses don't surprise me anymore. And I can happily say that I am spending where my values are. Spreadsheets can be a great way to track your expenses. I used to use spreadsheets, and another platform that you can try out is called Billroo. This is actually a platform that I have built specifically for people who would like to reach financial independence. And if you'd like to try it out for yourself, I do have a link in the description below. The thing about saving money is the amount of money that you can save is capped based on your income, but the amount of money that you can make is essentially limitless. So the next step is to try to find ways to increase your income. You can do this by asking for a pay rise at your current work, or even find ways to make extra money through side hustles. So that way you can have more money to save and invest. One thing to note is it can be really easy once you do start to earn more money to just start spending the money that you're making. And I get it, I do this as well. But if you want to become financially free, it's really important to make sure that you are still living below your means even as you start to earn more money, and then investing the difference. And I'm not saying that you can't increase your lifestyle as you do start to earn more money. I'm just saying try not to do it so quickly and still make sure that you are living below your means. So the next step is to calculate your financial independence number. The way that you can achieve financial independence is by having enough money invested so that you can live off the passive income from your investments. So exactly how much money would you need to have invested in order to reach financial independence? There are 2 simple ways that you can calculate this. The first way is to use the 25 times rule. You simply use your projected annual expenses and then times it by 25. So let's say, for example, you spend $60,000 per year. 60,000 times 25 equals $1.5 million. So $1.5 million would be your financial independence number. Another way to calculate it is by using the 4% rule. A lot of financial experts believe that 4% is the safe withdrawal rate, which means the amount of money that you can comfortably withdraw each year without running out of money. The basic premise is if you withdraw from 3 to 4% of your portfolio each year, you should be able to maintain your savings by at least 30 years. Another alternative is you could hold your investments, and let's say, for example, you receive 4% in dividends each year. You can essentially live off the passive income from your investments without ever touching the principal. So let's say, for example, your monthly expenses are $5,000 per month. You would need $60,000 per year to survive and live comfortably. So your financial independence number would be $60,000 divided by 0.04, which would equal $1.5 million. A great tool that you can check out is the Pearl of Financial Independence calculator, and I'll show you how it works. So let's say, for example, I would like to earn $5,000 per month. And let's say, for example, I'm investing $30,000 per year. That means that in approximately 23 years, I'll be able to have some passive income of $60,000 from my $1.5 million investment portfolio. And you can also play around with these numbers as well. It's amazing to have a financial independence goal, but it is really important to note that there are some limitations to the 4% rule and the 25 times rule. These numbers don't include superannuation or the age pension because we are looking at retiring early in this video. Depending on when you were born, you can access your super from the ages of 60 to 65. And here's a helpful table that you can check out. The age pension also kicks in at around 67, and this isn't included in these numbers. In order to access the age pension, you do need to satisfy some means tests, but to be honest, we don't actually know exactly what the age pension will look like in a couple of years' time, and it's also not guaranteed. But if it is still around at the time that we reach 67 and we are able to meet those tests, then it could be a nice bonus for us. But if you're looking to retire earlier, that probably means that you'll need more time, and therefore probably more money. $60,000 in 30 years' time probably won't buy as much as it does today because of inflation and the rising cost of living. So once you have your financial independence number, it's a good idea to keep on updating it. Your lifestyle will also probably change. These goals will assume that you spend the exact same amount of money each year, but we all know that's really difficult to do. So that's another reason why it's important to keep on updating these financial independence goals as your lifestyle changes. Whether or not you have a paid off house to live in can also dramatically affect these numbers and the amount of money that you need to retire. For most people, their mortgage or rent makes up around 30% of their income. So if your lifestyle expenses are $60,000 per year as a couple, that's $18,000 per year going towards your housing. And if you have a mortgage paid off by the time that you do retire, that means that you can effectively cut your lifestyle expenses by 30%. So $60,000 minus $18,000 is $42,000, and $42,000 times 25 is $1.05 million. So $1.05 million would be your new financial independence number if you do have a mortgage that is fully paid off by the time you retire. These financial independence goals also don't consider taxes. So while it is amazing to have financial independence goals, it is important to also be aware of these limitations. So now you have control of your finances and you have a financial independence goal to work towards. The next step is to invest regularly so you can build passive income. And a helpful tool that you can check out is the Pearl compound interest calculator. I'm going to demonstrate the difference between saving and investing using this compound interest calculator. So let's say, for example, you save $1,000 per month in a high interest savings account that yields 5% per year. With an average inflation rate of 4% per year, after 30 years you could have $420,000. But here's where it gets crazy. Let's say, for example, instead of saving $1,000 per month, we invest $1,000 per month instead, which would give us an average annual return of 8% per year. After 30 years, we could have $697,000. That's a difference of over $200,000. Imagine what you can do with this money. And if you're wondering where to invest, the platform that I use is called Perla, and you can use my code Queenie for a $20 credit. And now you're probably wondering, what are some options that you can invest in? Perla has a list of some of their most popular investment options among their investing community. These are VAS at number 1, VGS as number 2, VDHG as number 3, IVV as number 4, and A200 as number 5, plus many others, and this can help give you a good starting point on where you could invest your money. I've also created another video here that you can watch with some super simple ETF portfolio options. If you have the skills to buy something online, then you have the skills to make an investment, and I'll show you exactly how easy it is. To make an investment, I simply click here, invest in AU shares. Here I can search for the investment I would like to make, for example, VGS. Here it gives me more information about this ETF. I can put in exactly how much I would like to invest, for example, $1,000. And then to buy it, I simply click on next, and then place order. And don't forget, you can use my code Queenie for a $20 Pearler credit. And the final step is to open up a shell company overseas so that you can funnel all of your money into it and pay zero tax. I'm just kidding, but it is definitely worth it to learn more about how you can reduce your taxes. In Australia, we are lucky enough to have an amazing retirement system called superannuation. So even if your plan is to retire early, you probably still want to be alive by the time you're 65. So then it could be worth looking into how you can reduce your taxes by contributing more to your superannuation. This can help you reduce your taxes and save for retirement at the same time. And if you'd like more tax tips, you can check out this video up here. And write us a comment below with the word herbs in it, just so we know you watched this video all the way through.
Thank you.
Bye!